And now it's time for So You Think You're Awake with Michael Sheridan.
Welcome to So You Think You're Awake. I'm Michael Sheridan, and this is the relaunch of my show that ran on KKNW for 2 years. I've scaled things back to my original format, so it is just me this time. But I will have Heidi Brooke on the show sometime in the future. She is still doing what she does, saving lives with her work in Seattle Children's Hospital by day and saving souls with her channeling work when she clocks off. Actually, she also saves lives with her channeling work. Her medical expertise allows her to accurately diagnose physical conditions when channeling, and I'm fortunate to have been a benefit from her wisdom. I've seen her do it for others too. She sends people to their doctor with the name of their condition. Amazing stuff. Anyway, I'll have Heidi on to talk about that and more on a future show. I did a small announcement about needing dreams for today on my newsletter, and through a cover photo change on my Facebook page, I got tons of dreams in response. Thank you for that, and also thank you to everyone who sent me good wishes. For people listening to the show, though, for the first time, I wanted to capture what my work and this show is about. I call it So You Think You're Awake because dreams attempt to awaken us to what our life is about. Our life purpose, why we came here. Waking up from sleep is analogous to waking up from life, seeing past the illusions to another level of awakening where you can truly learn about yourself. Maybe you are awakened. For whatever reason, and it's different for all of us, something happened and you just know there is more to life. The problem is you don't know what that more is. So you've been searching your soul, devouring self-help books, searching the internet, but nothing is sticking, at least not for long. You wake up with a feeling you can't get rid of, a nagging sadness that you are not living to your full potential. It's not that you've failed, you've raised great kids, or you've gotten exactly what you wanted in your career. Either way, life has pretty much given you what you wanted. But now you know you are meant to be doing something different, something important. But what? You've searched and you've grown from that search, but you still have not found the answers you need. You know you will recognize it when you do. But where do you turn to next? You've even paid for courses that you thought would lead you to it, but they haven't, and you're feeling let down. If what you're meant to do is so important, why does it feel like the universe is hiding it from you? Well, I'm here to tell you it isn't. The irony is that the answers are so close to you that you most likely discount them. You look outside of yourself, as you've been trained to, listening to other people's voices. But those voices usually reflect their answers, not yours. For your answers, you need to look within, listen to the voice of your dreams, and you will hear your higher self speaking clearly, revealing the purpose of your very existence and the path you must take to achieve your goals. Only then will you feel fulfilled. Over the past 27 years, I've had the joy of being able to interpret thousands of people's dreams and reveal to them what their unique gifts and their life purpose is. I've helped thousands of people simply by being able to tell them what the true meaning of their dreams is. I was where you are 30 years ago. I awakened and I had one simple question. What am I meant to be doing? Nothing I did gave me the answer. No course, no books. I was frustrated. I lacked clarity. I felt like I was on my own. And yes, I felt let down. I'm logically inclined and I wanted answers I could trust. My breakthrough came when I attended a dream interpretation class. Now, I had done a dream interpretation course before, but it was worse than useless. I didn't want to go to another. I was dragged there by my sister, and because of my reluctance, we missed the first week. But here's what happened. I submitted a dream for analysis, and it described me to a T. And I'll admit, it wasn't all pretty. But I realized I had found the fountain of knowledge. My dreams revealed my anger, its source in childhood, and how to clear it. My sense of feeling alone, where it started, why I chose it, and how to clear that. They also revealed my spiritual gifts, including my ability to interpret dreams. And they revealed my life purpose. I was transformed. Acting on my dreams gave me clarity and confidence. I had the answers. I was certain about my life purpose. I was excited about life. I was energized. I felt supported and I was happy. Within the first year of acting on my dreams, I began teaching dream interpretation classes. I was interviewed on national TV and dozens of radio stations. These interviews filled my classes. I was mobbed at exhibitions. Celebrities in the spiritual field asked me to interpret their dreams. I got permanent paid TV and radio spots. My health also improved dramatically, and I began hearing my guides, and they add detail to my interpretations. All of this from listening to my dreams. My dreams revealed my life purpose, and I finally got the answer to my question. I know why I'm here. I help spiritual seekers who are struggling to discover their gifts and life purpose. Using as little as one dream, I put them in touch with the life they intended to live. And I've been doing this for 27 years. I do it all under the name Ashling Dream Interpretation, because Ashling is the Irish word for dream. I've used the Ashling method to transform the lives of countless individuals. Before working with me, Robin worked 9 to 5 as an admin in the University of Washington. She had migraines for 28 days a month. She knew she was here to help people and had learned a myriad of skills by constantly taking classes, but she was not clear on her purpose. Through her dreams, she was told to eliminate specific foods to help her migraines, that by learning too many skills, she had spread herself thin and lost focus. Learning to support herself through a very specific subset of skills was part of her life purpose, and she was to quit her 9 to 5. The results, her migraines diminished over time to just 1.5 days per month, and they still diminish. And she successfully today supports herself working full-time in her own practice as a master of her unique blend of skills. And now I would like to help you to do the same. Send your dreams to the show by going to dream-analysis.com/KKNW on your web browser. I'll give that web address again at the end of the show, so go get a pen and paper and have it handy. Now, let's have a look at some dreams. Our first dream is from Awelina. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she sent in 2 dreams, quite short, and they're both about the same subject matter, and they're separated by a number of years. Her first dream was in 2015, and she's chasing a solution to a problem she has. So the dream is called Silver Candle in the Hot Oven. And she says, this was a very strong and vivid dream. In this dream, there is no me. I'm an observer looking from above on a hot oven in which there is a silver candle in the shape of a life-size head. The candle does not burn while the oven is hot. I'm surprised that the wax does not melt. I can see the head from the side of the left ear and from the back. And then she gives another dream, which is actually the same thing. But let's have a look at this one first. So the oven, we often have the expression to have a bun in the oven, and the oven in dreams can represent the uterus, and in this case it does. And that's where Alwina has her problem. And so when we look at what's in there, first of all, it's hot. And the same thing is true in the next dream she sent. So this is saying her body is aggravated. Something has aggravated her body. We have a silver candle in the shape of a life-size head. So we have the silver and the candle both mean the same thing, that she's an intuitive. And they represent female energy. And the head is the opposite. The head is to do with logic and male energy. So this dream is saying that she needs to focus on balancing male and female energy. It also tells her that the focus, or where she needs to look, is on the left-hand side of the head, which is it's to do with activating the female side. So she has to get the balance working. Physically, she's got to work on an issue on the left-hand side of her head. Now, this seems strange. Why would your dreams point out a problem with your head when the symptom shows up somewhere else? But this is to do with the flow of and balance of energy in her male and female energy. We all have both energies within us. So what she's been asked to do is fix that balance, and then this problem will disappear. I thought I had printed out with me what I said to her, but I guess I didn't. But what I told her she needs to do is get craniosacral treatment, which is a very specific therapy that works on massaging the head. And her guides tell her that that's going to solve the condition for her. Now, if we look at her next dream, which is kind of similar, she says, she's given several dreams, so I'm just looking for one. I can see a one-story house with two smaller wings on the left and right. It's a little like a uterus with ovaries. In one of the wings, there is a kitchen with a hot oven in it. So we can see straight away, same subject matter, and a lot more detail that tells us, yeah, we're definitely hitting the right area. I go in there and see an angry dog or wolf in the oven who is grinning. Terrified, I run away and climb on the wall, high on the wall, to which I sit astride. With horror, I look towards the house from which I ran, expecting a dangerous dog to appear soon. To my surprise, from the house runs a small, harmless and light brown dog that goes in my direction. While the dog is passing a wall, I look the other way and see that the dog, after crossing the wall, turned into a cat which slowly moves away. So we have the exact same thing here. The wall and being high in the wall represent an imbalance between male and female energy, just like looking at the problem from above in the other one. So this is what she's got to fix. This one tells her how she can do it herself. So it says that she did something harmless because of when she was smaller. And she said this problem manifested when she was a teenager. She's given me more detail, which I can't share on the air. But it manifested as a teenager. So she did something that was harmless, but for which she felt guilty about afterwards. And so the dog coming out and being small and harmless tells us that this is what happened. And then it turns into a cat. And cats can represent a number of things in dreams, but in this dream, it represents guilt. And that comes from the fact that sailors used to be purged of their sins with the cat o' nine tails. But that's what it means here. So something harmless that she did in her teenage years, she needs to forgive herself for because she, at the time, felt guilty for doing it. And again, I don't know how much I can say here, but we know what it is, and it's something that you would easily say, yeah, well, I shouldn't feel guilty for that. But with the pressure society puts on us, with regard to, be married before you have intercourse, etc., it's along those lines, something along those lines, without saying it, that she needs to look at and fix. But she can do it in one of two ways. I would always say do both. But it's interesting how to see your dreams given the solution for a problem that you've had for years, even when you don't know what that solution is. Let's move on. We have two small dreams from Jenny. Her first dream, she says she sees a princess in a beautiful white wedding dress with 126 diamonds on the belly of the dress. And she says, it's funny because I've been having belly problems. And she has. She's got been recently diagnosed with diverticulitis. And as she said before, it was a condition her own dreams were warning her about, and she didn't pay enough attention to them. Now, her next little dream is the same thing. So a princess is a leader. So it's saying, look, she needs to get into her female energy. And the white in this context, because a white wedding dress is always the perfect one, it's to do with being confident in using her spiritual leadership ability. And because the 126 diamonds are on the belly, it's saying if she does that, it's going to help relieve the stomach problem that she has. The 126, they're all good numbers. And actually, it says that she can get onto the dharmic path. That's a really good thing. We'll talk about it on another show. And her next dream is, I knew President Trump was hiding in my house. I had a somewhat ominous feeling since I think he's dangerous. I left and came back to find my sister there, and when I looked at my cedar chest, I knew he was in there. Well, the whole idea is hilarious. But President Trump is another leader. It matters whatever the dreamer thinks about whoever they dream about. So if this person really liked President Trump, then they pick Trump in the dream to encourage them to get into that gift, into their leadership gift. But like I said, it's not about political leadership. It's about spiritual leadership, which works through female energy, where you have an open and compassionate heart. But she says she had an ominous feeling because she thinks he's dangerous. So that's important. It's not about Trump at all. It's about her. Everybody and everything in a dream is you. So it's saying that she feels it would be dangerous to start using her spiritual leadership ability. And that's something that she needs to overcome. And it's holding herself back is what has led to the health condition that she's gotten. She says he was locked in a cedar chest. So we know a wooden chest, it's about the heart because the reference to chest, and that's where this gift works. So she has to open her heart and get into it. But also the cedar chest tells us anything to do with wooden dreams is about the elimination system. And so here, because this gift is locked up there, it's saying she's got to start using it. And when she does, it's going to help her deal with that condition. So again, another easy link to be made there. I'm always reminded, I've been told every time, make sure you talk slowly, because I'm from Ireland, if you notice the accent, and we tend to talk a lot faster. So here's a dream from Teresa. She says, I was in a large building with many other people. It seems large enough to almost be a warehouse. We each stood behind a counter, and on the counter in front of us were our jewellery boxes and necklaces on display. The necklace chains hung down from a display bar instead of being jumbled together. Then she says, it was later in the evening. As I walked out of the building, I saw my mother sitting at a table beside the door. She looked completely exhausted. She was guarding the building and had not slept in a very long time. I really wasn't sure the building needed guarding, but she obviously thought so. I convinced her to at least take a break and take a shower, that I'd sit at the table until she came back. Before she left, my son stopped us on his way out and said, so we can skip the rest of it. I'm looking to see. She says here at the end, in the next scene, I'm walking back into the building and looking at all of the displays. Everyone else was still asleep. Somehow I saw everything in a new way. I walked over to my counter and began removing the majority of the jewellery. I only wanted what was most important to me to be out on the counter. I removed so much that I could remove one of the two boxes and had only maybe 3 necklaces left. So what is that about? Well, the necklaces, I'm putting them on display and on the counter. So counters and tables are always interesting in a dream. Whatever's on a table or a counter is something that you're being asked, or you're being told by your higher self, this is what's on the table for you. When it's on a counter is higher than a table. So it's saying, this is more important, and you're accountable for this. So it's like, we're not going to bring this to you. You have to do this yourself. And so she has jewelry boxes and necklaces on display. So it's saying that she needs to put her spiritual wares on display, the most precious part of her nature. And jewelry is quite often used in dreams to indicate your gifts or the precious part of you. So putting them on display and selling them, as she would be doing in this scenario, is saying that she's to use her spiritual gifts and make her living from doing it, or at least make money from using these gifts. But she said... The next part of it then we see is she said her mother was sitting at a table beside the door. Now, her mom is deceased. But when her mom shows up in the dream and her mom is guarding the building, this gives her a clue as to what's gone wrong and what she needs to fix. She mentions, straight after mentioning her mom, that she would give her a break to take a shower. And this is a common thing in dreams. So it's asking her to cleanse issues to do with her mom. Now, her mom could have lots of positive traits, and that's fine. But our dreams show us, when they show us a person, they generally show us how somebody has impacted us negatively. So she's holding herself back in some way. Well, we know what it is here. She's on guard because of her mom. So I wrote and asked her if she could shed some light on that. And she says, my relationship with my mother was difficult. She suffered from mental illness for the majority of her life, dying from alcoholism and depression 14 years ago. She did teach me, she said she was manipulative, controlling and angry at times, but had other good sides too. But she did teach me to put up a barrier to protect myself, and I've recently been lowering that barrier. And that's what this dream is asking her to do. It's saying you still have a ways to go and need to drop this whole sense of being on guard. And she says she's doing it, but because it's in the dream, you need to continue at it. And then we know something has changed because she's gone back into the building and said, okay, I want to get rid of half of this stuff, or more than half of it, and just leave up what's important to me. So I asked her what recent changes had she made, and she said that she used to be a volunteer for the Catholic Church and was trained as a spiritual director and was also a Eucharistic minister for 20 years. But she's put all that aside and recently been drawn back to her first love, which is art. And that's clearly the right thing for her to do. And she said she started out as an artist, but it kind of got sidetracked. And so this dream is saying, look, this is what you need to do, but you need to drop your guard and you need to put yourself on display. And I can't imagine anything more appropriate than art, being told to put yourself on display, because that's exactly what you do with it. And this is how she's going to learn about herself. And then also realize that necklaces, when worn, are also on prominent display. So the real thing is don't hide yourself and show who you are to other people. So let's have a look at another one. This one is from Eve. She says, I was laying down indoors in a large room like an auditorium. There were a few other people doing the same around me. We were a small class there to learn something. There was an instructor I didn't previously know. I put specifically rose quartz, small, raw, rough stones on my heart, navel and pelvis. I held larger, smoothed, flattened egg-sized ones in each hand. There was a 6th medium-sized rough piece next to my hand on my left. Partway through the exercise, the roof and heavens opened. I couldn't see it clearly, but got the impression there were beings looking down through the dark opening. Now, she did say that the instructor was a woman. So what this dream is very clearly telling her is to, well, I don't know if it's clear to everybody, but what it is telling her is to go to a crystal healer and tell them you want a rose quartz bath. You could look it up on the internet and buy the crystals and do this yourself, but I'd go with the crystal healer if you can. And the reason I say that is because you're going to have this experience where your heart opens, and it's best to be around somebody who knows what that's like when it happens, especially if you're going to start seeing spirits. And this is about opening your heart chakra and connecting with the creative source energy that infuses all living things. You can get this connection by working on issues around your mom, or, and this is for this specific dreamer, or for a brief time you can get it by using rose quartz to heal your stress and balance your heart chakra and the female energy within you. So this is this is like a limited time offer from your guides. And I would definitely do this. People would pay big money for this. By the way, you're also a spiritual teacher. We can see that from other things in the dreams. So why do we do anything our dreams say? Well, once you do this one thing, then your dreams will switch. Until you do this, like the first lady we had, where her dreams are telling her about her health condition over years. Until you do the first thing, your dreams aren't going to change. But when you do it, your dreams will change and say, here's what's next, here's what next is next. They always tell you what's the next step on your path. There's no point saying, you know, you have 7 or 8 steps to go, and then further down the road, you're going to be doing this. And the reason they won't tell you that is because a lot of people will try skip the steps they need to take and, you know, just try to take the shortcut to wherever they're going to end up. And it doesn't work that way, because life is about the experience you have on the journey and what you learn about yourself through those experiences. And we can't cut any of that out. So our next one is from Tatiana. She says, I am Charlize Theron and I am going up and down the elevator. At the lowest floor, there are people of lower class, and there is also an elite penthouse where I am going. Suddenly, I'm holding a fistful of diamonds. I found them and they are mine, but I'm hiding it from the people at the bottom. So this dreamer is, the big question I would ask about this one is, what discomfort causes you to not share the precious gems you receive from your guides? And I wrote and I asked Tatiana that, and I got a long, detailed answer about all the various different parts of this. But that's really for a lot of people, when I get your dreams, I don't just do them on the air, I write to people. So some people, I've done their dreams just by email because I'm looking for dreams that are going to be entertaining for the show. And I cover a lot of dreams that wouldn't necessarily be that way. So when you send your dreams in, you have to include an email address, because I am always going to want to ask you questions, almost always. Anyway, so I asked her, because this dream is about her channeling. Charlize Theron, because she's an actress, is a perfect symbol for that. Channels are told what to say, just like actors are told what to say. And so they're a perfect symbol for it. The moving up and down the elevator is another symbol for the same thing. It says that you have the ability to move your consciousness to a higher plane. That's what the analogy of the elevator is. Get information and bring it down, or as in this case, pick up precious gems and bring them back down to people at the bottom. Now, because we see fear, she's hiding the gems from the people at the bottom. I asked her, is she afraid of channeling? And she said she is afraid of channeling, that she's afraid that some malevolent being could take her over, and that she's too naive to be dealing with the spiritual realm. And a lot of people have that fear. But I can guarantee you, if you get into a channeling group, you will quickly lose that fear, because they work very quickly on transmuting the energy around you so that you are in a very positive space. And you always want to be in a very positive space when you channel. I also asked her about Charlize Theron. She said she really likes her. She's definitely beautiful and successful. But she said she didn't really feel like she belongs in that class, and even in the dream didn't feel like she belonged in the penthouse. So it's, again, this is not about the dreamer. It's about her attitude towards her gift. So that's something she needs to fix. She needs to realize that she is a channel. She is a good channel. And she needs to improve her view of that. Yeah. And the next one, this one is quite interesting. So this one was from a friend of mine. She was at a party. She lives in China. She's American, but was moved over there as part of Boeing. They moved their employees around. And she was at a party and she feels like she was drugged at this party, and it was only American expats there. I don't know if that's the term you'd use. So she was really suspicious, because it wasn't like she was at a bar or anything like that. And I asked her to ask for a dream on it, and she said, I just woke and dreamt that this person, we know who it is, figured out how to make a shirt. She cut 2 denim shirts in half and then sewed them together, making a bigger denim shirt that was identical to the original ones. And none of us knew anything about this. And we were looking, saying, okay, let's channel on it. And when I channeled on it, the guide said, look up half shirt, because that's what's a feature in the dream. And I was really surprised, but also not too surprised, I suppose, that a half shirt is a term used for, and I can't see where I have it written down, but 1/32nd ounce of meth or cocaine. Now, neither of us knew this. So it told us, because this person in the dream had done this and had used that symbolism, it told us that this is exactly what had happened to Jamie, and amazingly revealing. So then she knew from then on to avoid this person. Yeah, I found that now. That's right, 1/32nd ounce of meth or cocaine. And I think we're coming towards the end, so I'm just going to give you the URL again. So go to dream-analysis.com/KKNW, and all the details are there for sending your dreams into the show. And it's going to be every Monday at 1 p.m. There will be podcasts and clips on the website afterwards. And thank you very much for listening.